Alright, we are recording. This is the picture I plan on doing for Trollzine, and it's a Tunnels and Trolls battle with a troll, a fighter, there's a wizard flying, and a leprechaun. Leprechauns are in Tunnels and Trolls. I've always thought that was interesting. All fighting this Colossus guy in the middle. Anyways, but that's not important. Today, starting at 6, is a IF class. So, I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes working on this. I came up with... I wouldn't say it's a script, but basically my script idea for the comic I want to do in class, which is going to be an Unga Bunga script, or an Unga Bunga story, where I'm kind of I'm kind of basing it on the Gardner Fox, Mike Sikowski early Justice League, Silver Age Justice League stories. So the way those worked is, well, the main feature, which I'm not really copying that much, is they would have to split up. There would be a villainous plot to do something, and they would have to split up to handle it. So, like, you know, Flash and Batman would go in one direction, and the Atom and Wonder Woman would have to go in another direction. And that was the fun of it, kind of seeing the combos. I think. So in this one, there's a bad guy, and he's trying to steal this magical plant, right? And he kind of tricks the people in the village to have a race, so it's going to be Unga Bunga amongst all the other villagers to be in the race. But really, he's just trying to get them out of the village so he can steal it. So, you know, this is a bit of bait and switch here, where at first you think the story is about the race, and then you find out, aha, it was actually just a ploy to get everyone to leave the area, and then by the time they come back, then they see what's up. Anyway. Also, in a moment of embarrassment, I also noticed that when I was doing my tiles yesterday, I kind of messed up. So I'll try extra hard not to do that again. But I don't know if anyone really noticed. I noticed. I feel like he should have an extra claw, like behind. And I never drew one, so let's go ahead and add the claw. Also, this is still my old laptop, my old iPad. The new iPad is now, I think, set up. I did all the setting up yesterday, and then it said it'll just take 16 hours for it to transfer all your old files over. So I set that up to go, to do all the updates and everything. And then I didn't really, you know, when I got home, I just kind of checked to see if it was working, and it is. Everything's looking good. But I thought, you know, until this comic is done, I'll probably continue drawing this comic on this one, unless the file's transferred over. You know, which I'm not sure if that's how it works at all. I got really interested in once again, Rhizoprint. And I think I'm pretty much going to be doing some zines after this. And try to just really focus on tightening them up visually. Saw a little preview of Tom Scioli's Witchman. It's the first time I've really been excited for a comic in a long time. Well, I was excited for Brendan Boyd's comic, that's true. And, you know, it was good. Alright. Now, as far as backgrounds goes, we're not going to need much for this. This is an action scene. What's the next scene? Another action scene, but we're going to have a background. So with this one, once we get his sound effect in here, we can go in and do focus lines, which I think might be the best way to go. That's a good start. Alright, let's go ahead and keep on moving. Keep it moving. I would say that these 2 weeks have been pretty tough with what happened to Ed Piskor. There's sand dripping off of him. And I think that Tom Scioli's Witchman was it kind of represents a way forward. I think everybody's exhausted with it. This is going to sound controversial, but I'll just go ahead and say it. There's no reason whatsoever at all that I can see, speaking for myself, to support mainstream comics right now, and most of the indies as well, unfortunately. Now if you care about your local comic shops or whatever, that's a different story. You can always buy back issues. It is a house of corpses. It is very screwed up. You know, if Ed Piskor is not allowed to be a cartoonist, they literally killed him. He had ties in, like I said, underground comics, quote-unquote outlaw comics. He brought those back. Comics fandom, you know, he was always talking about Wizard Magazine, comics history, Manga, he had frequent trips to Japan to go talk manga with the manga creators. Superhero comics, because he did X-Men Grand Design. You know, indie comics, because how else would you describe Hip Hop Family Tree? He knew old school stuff, he knew new school stuff. He was a voice in the community. Quote unquote, I even hate that word now. F that word. There is no community. I'm still going to be making comics, of course, on my own. But I don't think there should be any expectation. I'm going to switch to zines. I'm going to continue working up my skills. And don't let it get you. There's some shady characters out there. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna use not layer 13. We're gonna use a new layer. I see I'm only at 11 minutes. Drawing guide, edit drawing guide, perspective, bip, right there. Assisted drawing, done. Make sure you're on the right layer, not the light layer. Easy peasy. It's just make sure that your lines taper. If you start with the light pressure, it's much easier to control. Now there's another way of doing this without using this central one. Instead, you rather than doing a circular focus, you go around in a linear focus. So if you can imagine this blue line here, and we would just draw lines towards the blue. So it wouldn't necessarily be circular. Like, see, these lines are going here. We could actually just draw, you know, lines towards the blue without going circular. Oops. Baby. All right. The assist off. There we go. Hey now. All that's left for this middle panel is speech bubbles. Oh, and tones. I didn't do tones. Well, there's something we can do. Now, interesting thing from class is he said, come with your ideas, but don't get too attached to them. So he's going to do some script coaching as well, which I'm all for. I'm okay with it. One thing I don't have is a design for my villain, so I'm going to work on that. Let's see. Hey, that was a message from Man of the Atom. Glad to hear from him. Alright. Dropping it in. Okay. Here's my question. Is this too big? The speech bubble right here? I think it is. So we're just going to grab it. And we're going to warp it up a little bit. Just to get it back into shape a little bit. It ain't going to require much. I'm going to go ahead and there we go. Not bad. Alright, I'm still at 16 minutes. There's 4 more minutes. Okay, so as long as we have 4 more minutes, I can do a couple of tones. We don't have to do much. We're going to do light tones. I'm going to go and start with tones on the focus block, on the focus lines. Oh my god, Peter. Alright, hang on. I ain't enough time in the day. How do we increase the contrast from this character to this character? I think what we can do, one thing we can do, is make sure that the monster is dark. I'm going to do a little bit of a gradient. All right. Ooh. Completely missed that one. All right, these armor plates. He's not quite a turtle, but he's turtle-like. All right. By using the tones, so you see these like kind of round shapes that are on the armor. If you put a little bit of a shadow underneath one of them, like over here and over here and over here, as long as you're consistent, those will begin to read as three-dimensional, as more like a bump. Especially when you zoom out. Alright, we're approaching the end of the video. Please like, follow, and subscribe. I appreciate you coming by and your comments. Even if you don't like it, let me know. And all right, what do you think? Did we make it? Did we get there? I think we did. Alright, that leaves one panel left, and the last panel is sort of a zoom back panel where we have the two characters sort of, you know, attacking our monster. And I've got to go and read this test. I'm so glad to see Man of the Atom back in action. So I'm gonna go say hello over there. Talk to you later.